Hi, my name's Diane. You're currently watching the Just Kidding Around show. Thank you so much for joining us. Each week, we introduce our home viewers to different crafts, hobbies, and special ideas that can be enjoyed by people of the entire family. I'm very excited to welcome this week's guest. She's never been on our show before. Her name is Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
And I hear you are a chef.
Yes, I love cooking.
You do love cooking. Mm-hmm. So we are going to open our show by looking in the camera and giving a shout out to somebody in there in Viewerland.
Okay, I'd like to give a shout out to my fellow cooks that I go to school with and my teacher, who is a pretty good chef herself. She loves cooking.
And her name would be?
Mrs. Cannon.
Hi, Mrs. Cannon. And I think I'll say hello to Mrs. Cook, our school principal. I wonder if she cooks.
I don't know.
Mrs. Cook?
Yeah, that would make
I know
sense.
she cooks. She's an amazing cook. So we're going to get started. And how long have you been cooking, Ryan?
I've been cooking since I was about 3.
Oh, Ryan. Really?
No, really. I used to do the mixing before everything went in the oven. And, of course, I wasn't allowed to touch the hot stuff, but I could do some mixing and stirring and preparation stuff.
All right. So does your mom do a lot of cooking?
Yes, but I've kind of taken over the weekly dinners because
Seriously?
I like it so much. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm excited. I see you came with a crock pot.
Oh, yes, we did. And we are going to be making marshmallow bird nest in...
Marshmallow bird nest?
Yes.
Is this for a bird or for a human being?
For human beings.
That's good, because
but-
I'm hungry.
Yeah. But it is spring, so we thought it would be perfect to have a marshmallow bird nest.
All right. So what is this paper?
This paper is just regular parchment paper.
It is parchment paper.
Yes.
And where would a person buy parchment paper to cook with?
Grocery stores.
Any grocery store would
Any
have
grocery
parchment
store would
paper?
have parchment paper.
All right.
So we are going to grab the ingredients that you will need.
And Ryan brought these things pre-measured from home. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh my gosh! Can I just eat this like yum yum yum?
I know, it is quite good.
Oh my goodness! Do you think any kid could make this?
I think any kid could make this, but I think for the heat part of it, you do need some adult supervision because it can get hot lifting up things like
All
this.
right. So, oh my gosh!
Yes,
You should have
yes.
told me not to do that,
Yes.
Ryan. That was hot.
Well, I did.
Ooh. Okay, so that is very hot. You must have that on high. And what's in your crock pot?
What is in my crock pot? Well, in my crock pot, I have some marshmallows that I melted with butter. And you can do this either on the stovetop or in the microwave.
All right. And where did you get this recipe?
I got this recipe from one of my cooking classes that I go to.
You take cooking classes?
Yes. I think it's great for kids that are just starting out to take like local classes that are around
town. I
town.
didn't know that about you. Where do you take your cooking classes?
Bayview Thriftway downtown offers
know
cooking
that.
classes.
Bayview Thriftway, all right. They have cooking classes for kids, or are you in adult classes?
No, they have kids and adult classes.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm kind of at the level where I might be ready to start taking some adult classes.
Oh, how fun is that? All right,
is
I'll
very
be
fun.
quiet and watch you.
So in here I have 2 cups of marshmallows and a 1/4 cup of butter. Then we are going to add 2 cups of corn flakes and a little bit of coconut. You can add as much as you want depending on how bird nesty you kind of want it to look. So we're going to add this in and start stirring.
Could they use other cereal? Have you tried it? with
I
something other
have
than-
not tried it with other cereal. And I would recommend, especially for kids trying to stick to the recipe when they're first learning.
I like that advice. So kids should stick to the recipe
Yes.
first time, and then if you're going to experiment, maybe.
Yeah. And anytime kids are cooking, it's important to have an adult around.
Yes. And you say you started at 3. What were you? You were stirring mainly when you were 3?
Yeah. When I was 3, I barely got to work the mixer, but I was there, and I enjoyed it a lot.
When did you start working with heat?
When did I start working with heat? I started working with heat when I was 8 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm 11 now, so I've been working with heat and stuff like this for quite a few years. Or just, oh well, not quite a few.
And are crock pots a good tool for a
Crock pots are a good tool. Yeah, for a child, better than stovetops and things like that. So right now I am just adding some food coloring because we want a blue nest. So we are just going to add those cornflakes and that coconut to our pot and also stir in the food coloring. And the stirring of the food coloring might take a little while.
That is very hot though.
Yeah, it is. It is on high because I need to keep this warm while I'm doing this. And then for this recipe, you can use some sort of a glove because what we're about to do in a couple minutes when this is all done is take them out and shape them into the bird's nests.
All right.
You can do it with your hands, but it is quite hot, so.
Did you bring gloves?
I did not. So we're going to be using our hands, but it's not like burning hot or anything. The mixture inside is an okay temperature.
So if you just tuned in, Ryan has already melted marshmallows and butter in a crock pot, and she has added coconut and cereal. And we're making little bird nests. So that would be a good thing for Mother's Day or spring or summer, a birthday party.
For sure.
Easter.
Yeah, and actually in my cooking class when we learned to make this, we packaged them up and used them as holiday gifts.
Oh, as gifts? Oh, that's a good idea.
So these are pretty cool because you don't have to make them into bird's nests. We're doing that because it's springtime. But during the holiday season, you can make them into little wreaths.
Oh, how cute. This very same recipe?
This very same recipe.
So this is a year-round recipe.
It is.
I love this idea.
And for summer, you can be as creative as you'd like to what you want to come up with. And then for the middle, for our eggs, we're going to be adding some jelly beans. But in the wintertime, we use Red Hots to make it look kind of like
for the
berries.
wreaths.
Yes.
Do you still put the coconut in the wreaths?
The coconut I don't put in the wreaths.
Then you just use the marshmallow, the butter, and the,
Yes, that would be correct. The coconut is more for the look of like the grass and things that they put in it.
Okay.
So.
You're sure doing a lot of stirring there.
Yes.
It really takes that long every time you make it?
It does take a little while to make this, but this is like most holiday treats, cookies, and things like that. However, no baking required, which is the nice thing about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would happen if it wasn't all mixed in?
Well, what I'm mixing in right now is the food coloring. So if it wasn't all mixed in, it just might be a different color.
Okay.
But while I'm mixing, I was just going to talk about the other dish we will be making tonight, which is a super easy chicken dinner. And these recipes are both really good for kids because it can be a struggle to get us to eat food.
Okay. So may I say something?
Yeah.
That if people go to their public library or their school library, there are some wonderful books designed just for kids. And I know you can get that information on the internet too, but there's something about having a cookbook with the color pictures just laying out. Do you prefer internet recipes or cookbooks or both?
I prefer cookbooks because at the end of the cookbooks or sometimes at the bottom of the recipe, it'll have like additional tips. But I find with the internet recipes, because of the formatting, they don't put them. So.
They kind of leave that. And you can kind of write notes and star your favorites. And by the way, do you have any safety tips for that young cook?
I do. There are actually special knives that you can buy for kids when they're first starting out cooking.
Somewhat?
Special knives. And they're
knives.
Yes.
All right.
Because when you start out cooking, knives is something that you will always be using.
Are we using knives today for this recipe?
We will not be using knives today.
Yeah, whoa.
I know.
There you go. No knife for that, huh?
No knife for that.
So the only utensil you really used was a wooden spoon so far.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. May I move this crock pot for you and get it out of your way?
Here, I can move it really fast.
Do we need to turn it off?
We do not need to. Well, I can flip it off real quick.
Good.
Okay, so we are going to work with this while it is still pliable, and it's actually not super hot.
And did I hear you say earlier that it's nice to have gloves?
It is. You can use like plastic gloves. You just can't hold and press your fingers into this.
And you're making a gigantic nest, like one for an ostrich or something. I'm gonna make. May I make a humming bird's nest? You know what? You might not think this is hot, kiddo, but I do. I could use this. Wow.
I know, it's extremely
This
sticky.
is hot. Wear gloves at home.
Yeah.
But what a fun thing to do on a rainy weekend.
Yeah, it is a really
To
fun
cook.
thing to do.
Are there grandmas out there? Cook with your grandkids. They can do it.
Yeah.
All we used was a wooden spoon and crock pot.
Yep.
Marshmallows, butter, cereal.
And actually, when you make this, all you have to use is the microwave.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make one
You can
too.
make them as small as you want and as big as you want, so you can pretend that it's an eagle's nest or a
Yeah.
little tiny bird's
Do you know what I've
nest.
heard about eagle's nests, though? They're actually the size of Volkswagen cars. That's what I need to research that some more. And that they return to the same nest and it gets bigger and bigger until the tree breaks.
Wow.
All right, can we move?
Yes.
Man, kiddo, your hands are tougher than mine.
Well,
You've
I do this
home
a
viewers.
lot.
I hope we can get a. Can somebody get a shot of this? I don't know which camera to point it to, but and this has got to be good to eat
Oh, yeah.
with
It's
marshmallows
so
and butter. Right there,
delicious.
you've got me.
I know.
I'm gonna put this down. I don't know if we're getting and I'm dropping the eggs.
Oh,
Oh,
it's fine.
there they go. Somebody's got it. Camera one, I think. So let me point it. It actually looks much better. It did look
fine.
better before I tilted it for the camera.
Yeah.
Just a minute, Arnie. We're going to be right back with
Yeah.
that close-up shot. Is that good?
There.
So that's a little bird's nest.
Yeah.
That would be a fun little dessert for the kids. And can you imagine making their own dessert? How fun is that? And here's mine. Please show mine, Arnie.
Yeah. And as
Mine's smaller. Mine's like a little hummingbird's nest.
And as it's cooling down, it's definitely easier to work with, even
Okay.
even though it becomes.
And then if you just tuned in, Ryan was saying that she does this recipe in winter, but then you make what again?
I make little wreaths,
Okay, little wreaths, but instead of jelly beans, she uses,
red hots.
yes, and she actually takes cooking classes.
Yes.
That is so cool. The smell of this is driving me wild.
I know, it smells very good.
Do you think there's somebody in the audience that might want to sample one of these?
Yeah,
We could call somebody up,
we could.
but let's wait. They're
Yeah,
still kind of warm.
They have to cool
These
a
are
little
so adorable. I do recommend gloves though,
bit. Yeah.
because those things are hot. You know what?
Well, after a while, when
Uh-huh.
kids start cooking, they'll get their cook hands. That's what I call my hands because I can burn myself, but it doesn't feel like a burn anymore.
Really? But I was wondering how brave you are because I just touched that and it burned me. It's like, too hot.
Yeah.
And the side of that crock pot was hot.
Yes.
I don't cook that much. You probably cook a lot more than I do.
Well, I don't have a job, so I have a lot more cooking time than you do.
Yeah, but I know you're a busy student and you always do very, very well in everything you do.
Thank you.
So, do you have any other members in the family?
Yes, I have a brother, and he's shown an interest for cooking. I mean, he likes
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Does he eat the food that you make?
Oh, yes.
These are so
If there was an award for the #1 eater, he would have it. He would definitely.
So you cook and he eats it. These are just beautiful.
Thank you.
Are you going to be cooking for Mother's Day?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think we're gonna make some breakfast.
Okay. Great.
spoilers.
So, do you have any tips for parents with a child that want to learn how to cook?
Yeah, I would say at first, I know this happens with my parents when they're teaching me anything. You need to have some patience because
Oh, patience.
that can be pretty important.
But again, if you're a kid watching this, just don't go into the kitchen alone. You really need to be there with grandma or mom or a babysitter, and or take cooking lessons like Ryan does. She actually takes lessons from
Yeah,
a.
and locally around here we have a pretty good option. I mean, we don't have many, but the options that we do have are really cool.
Pretty good. Yeah, there's just, you can look in colleges and different grocery stores. So thank you. That is so beautiful.
Yeah, so we're gonna set these over here.
Maybe the robot can pick up some of those too. I don't know. Now, I heard you brought something else.
Yes, this one's a little bit more savory and not quite as.
What was that word you just said?
Savory.
Savory. I don't think most 11-year-olds know that word. Can you tell us what savory means?
Well, it's the opposite of sweet, so a little bit salty, but just like meat, things like that. They're savory.
Okay. May I tell you something you may or may not agree with? I've been told we basically have 5 tastes. One is salt, one is sweet, one is sour, one is bitter, and the other is savory. So,
a good meal, and I learned this from my cooking lessons and other things like that. What makes people like meals is if it hits on every single one of those tastes.
And that creates gourmet cooking.
Yes.
And too many of us kind of lean towards the sweet, I think.
I do.
Sweet and salty. That's me.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Well, the next dish we're going to be making is the easy chicken dinner.
Easy? Okay.
It is very easy.
Easy chicken dinner. I'm ready.
Yes. So we are going to add some pasta, and I pre-cooked this pasta. It's just macaroni elbows is what most people
Elbow
call it.
pasta.
Yep, elbow pasta.
And how long do you cook your pasta?
I don't usually set a timer because all pasta is different, and so it kind of requires its own cooking times. So I take a piece out and try it.
Okay.
That's kind of how I'll determine.
And then do you boil the water first and then put the pasta in?
Yes, you boil the water first and then put the pasta in. And then I actually have some mixed vegetables here, and they've just been steamed. We're going to add those in, and just a 1/4 cup of these, and 2 cups of the pasta. And then I just have 1 clove of sauteed garlic that's going to go in here.
Love the garlic. I'm surprised you like garlic.
I actually love garlic. I put it on everything.
Well, it's not you per se, but a lot of kids don't like garlic.
Yeah.
Do you find that to be
A
true?
lot of kids don't like onion and garlic, and I like both of those things very much, and I like incorporating them into our meals.
You're lucky because they're healthy.
Yeah. Actually, I would like to call up a special guest.
You'd
if
like
we
to
can.
what?
I would like to call up a special guest if we can.
A special guest?
Yeah. I would like
There's
to
a lot
have
of
my
people
brother
in the
come
audience.
up, and actually, I want him to bring the mayonnaise.
The mayonnaise?
Yes, there
Is there
is some
somebody in the
mayonnaise going
audience?
in here.
Is there somebody in the audience that could please come up?
Yeah.
I hope there's somebody out there.
Okay.
Okay, and you'd like mayonnaise?
Yeah, Taven, come on up. Taven, come on up.
You want to just come here?
And he's just going to help us
He
stir.
doesn't have any mayonnaise, though.
Oh, that's fine. We can do without the mayonnaise.
I thought you called him up because you wanted him to bring mayonnaise.
Well, he can help stir.
Okay, do you want to come up here? Okay, you don't have to say anything. Just come over here and stir. So you know this person, don't you?
Yes, this would be my brother, the world's best eater.
Yeah, she mentioned you. And
Oh.
he stirs. He has an interesting way of stirring now. I'll just
A
clean
very
up.
cool technique.
Don't worry about cleanup. I'm handling it right here. All right.
And then we're also going to add our chicken. And I pre-cooked that. It's 2 chicken breasts, and I've just cubed them. Oh, look, the world's best taster is already
There you go
started tasting.
already.
Okay, well, yeah, you can't eat the food, buddy.
So, I am. He was just copying me.
Yeah.
So in here, let's review. You have elbow macaroni, pre-cooked. You have steamed frozen vegetables. Do they
frozen
have to be mixed, or could you have used just one kind? What's the
well,
advantage of mixed?
The advantage of mix is getting a prettier looking dish per
Okay.
se, and also having different flavors because like carrots taste a little bit different from beans, and beans taste a little bit different from corn.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you didn't mention if on the chicken, do you put salt? Do you put any seasonings on it?
So for this chicken, I put salt, pepper, and I actually used a little bit of garlic seasoning. You don't have to, but like I said, I'm a big fan of
So
garlic.
in addition to the garlic that you put in here,
Yes.
you also put a little tiny bit on
And,
there.
and any type of garlic seasoning works, like garlic salt. There's special seasonings you can buy.
Okay. So are you done being up here, or do you want to stay? You can stay, or you can leave.
Stay.
You're going to stay.
Okay.
We've got 6 more minutes.
Yeah, and then you can add some sort of a sauce to it. The recipe says to add mayonnaise, but it's completely optional. If you just
that's why
want-
he was supposed to bring the mayonnaise.
Yes,
Where is it?
I couldn't find
Pocket.
them.
You couldn't find the mayonnaise.
Oh my goodness.
Is it
One
here?
job, Taven. One job.
Hey.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, he does good. Somebody
yeah.
told me he helps his librarian a lot, so
Yeah.
you got to give him a break.
Yep.
All right, now Is this your favorite thing to cook? What's your favorite thing to cook?
My favorite thing to cook would probably be, oh boy, there's a dish called Halibut Olympia, and it's kind of a halibut casserole bake. And it's topped in a mayonnaise sour cream mixture.
All right.
And lots of cheese.
Halibut? You cook halibut?
Yes.
Halibut is a very expensive type of fish. Did you realize that?
I did not.
Oh, it's very expensive. I love halibut, but boy.
My dad for years and years used to go up to Alaska and fish with it.
Oh, you're kidding me.
So we
He
had to
catches
come
his
up
own
with
halibut?
creative recipes for
For
that.
halibut?
Yeah, he would bring back like 100 pounds of halibut.
Oh my gosh, that's a
And-
very expensive fish.
Yeah.
That's my dad's favorite fish is halibut. He likes it better than salmon. But I like both those.
I like
love
halibut
fish.
a little bit better than salmon as well.
Yeah, they're all good. They're good for you. But I think they're tricky to cook.
Yeah.
They can get dry real easy.
So this is kind of what it looks like combined.
Okay, here, how about holding that?
Yeah,
Don't
there
lick
you
the
go.
spoon.
Yeah.
So this is very colorful. Uh-oh, where am I aiming? Oh, you know what? The
Right there.
robot's on right now. Yeah. So that would be a real simple thing. Would you suggest this could be something a kid could start with for a dinner?
Yes. The one thing I would suggest about this is the chicken. There are easier meats to start with than chicken because cooking chicken can be dangerous and you need to keep it clean.
So
keep your hands clean.
that is true. I'm glad you
keep
know that.
everything clean because
That's true.
it causes salmonella. So,
I know.
And also the cooking process, you're going to have oil going a little bit of everywhere when it's sizzling in the pan. So something much easier to start off with is ground beef, actually.
Oh, ground beef would be easier and safer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
with
for
the
this
same recipe?
No, not for this
No.
particular recipe, but any like even spaghetti
Okay.
with just ground beef instead of meatballs. It's an easier meat to cook with.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I got my food handler's permit. And by the time they're through talking about chicken, I was pretty scared to be around chicken for a while because it really is a dangerous
It is.
meat to cook.
And you have to clean the whole kitchen.
Just nodding your head. He's nodding his head. He doesn't know. He's good. Just so he can eat it.
Well, does the #1 taster want to try one of our bird's nests?
Oh, yes. Try one of mine. Try mine. Pick me. Pick me.
The little ones.
That's one of your sisters.
Wait, what?
Your sister made all those. I only made one. What do you think? Uh-oh. Hey, come on. You got to smile. I
Oh
couldn't taste
my
it.
goodness.
There was a egg. That's actually larger than a hummingbird's egg. A
That's
hummingbird's egg is the smallest egg.
Unbelievable. Are you good?
All right. Yeah. And he doesn't lie. I know him. So, wow. Oh, Ryan's #1 taster. You got a little number up there. We have 2 more minutes.
Wow.
And in those 2 minutes, I'm a librarian and I love books. I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite cookbook?
My favorite cookbook.
And if you want to show a few pictures of ideas you might...
My favorite cookbook would have to be this one here.
So you suggest this as
it
kids
has
to start with?
it has a pretty cool story behind it. So this girl right here
What
is
does that say?
actually
Nerdy.
Nerdy Nummies.
Nerdy Nummies? What
So
does that mean?
this girl right here, her name is Rosanna Pansino, and she's actually from Seattle.
Oh,
And now
I like
she's one of the best bakers on the internet.
Then we need to get her on the show.
I know. Well, she no longer lives here, but she did.
Oh, she moved away?
Yeah.
People get famous and they move away.
Yeah, she moved to California.
See this where?
California.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
years. It's warm there.
Yep.
So, do you have a favorite thing that you like to make for your family?
Well, that Halibut Olympia would probably be my favorite thing, but I think maybe my second favorite thing would be like any sweet cookies or cupcakes that I
Okay.
make for them.
Yeah. It's kind of surprising. When I was your age, you didn't see cupcake companies. And
Yeah.
now you see them all over. I mean, it's kind of interesting how many people are making a living just making cupcakes.
Yeah, it's I think it's really cool that people can pursue their passions while still making a living off of it. And like something like baking is, it's pretty hard to get up there in baking because there are so many places.
Is
now.
that a passion that you would ever look at as a career? I'm gonna make
Baking
them
or
clear.
cooking?
You would really?
I would look at it as career.
Oh, Ryan, you're so smart. You got to be a brain surgeon. But you would be an excellent cook. I know
Thank
that.
you.
I know you already are, not would be. You do a marvelous job. Your family's lucky to have a cook in the family at 11 and somebody to eat all the food.
Yeah, and he's asked a couple times if I can teach him how to cook. So
So he might be ready.
Yeah,
His
he might
teeth
be
are
ready.
turning green, I'll tell you that. Well, we're getting ready to wrap things up. I want to thank you, Ryan, very
you.
much. You were well prepared. You did an excellent job.
well, thank you for inviting me
Yes.
on my
it
show.
was my pleasure. Maybe you can come back again. And thank you, Taven, for just chewing the food. You don't need to say anything. Your sister's mic'd up, so you said something.
yeah.
Nobody heard anyway, so don't bother. Okay. Thanks to everybody that came in to work on this show. We appreciate you so much. John, Arnie, Lori, and Waldo. Thanks so much. And join us again. We're on every Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.